Modern life is not collapsing. It's functioning efficiently, comfortably, and that's precisely the problem. People today are not desperate. They are not starving. They are not fighting to survive. They are hauling out quietly at younger and younger ages. Not depressed in the classical sense, not tragic, just empty. And emptiness is never neutral. And whatever creates pressure eventually invites something in. Psychology has noticed this pattern for a long time. When meaning weakens, something else takes its place. Carl Jung described this as a recurring psychic force, which he often referred to as the monster. Not a creature, not describing an enemy, but a pattern. In earlier times, that pattern looked loud, violent, and chaotic. Today, it's much, much quieter. It shows up as the ability to drift through life without friction, to scroll, to consume, to stay busy without being engaged. And at the same time, expecting all of this to provide fulfillment. That expectation would have sounded strange to people who lived closer to necessity. Jung warned that archetypes don't disappear. They adapt themselves. And one of the most powerful is what he called the devouring mother. Not describing a person, not describing a literal mother, but a psychological force that gives comfort without demanding growth. In the past, this showed up as overprotection. Today, it's larger than that. It lives in systems that remove struggle completely. Everything is on demand, everything is available immediately, nothing that has to be earned. No real thresholds, no meaningful crossings, nothing that forces transformation. We're constantly fed, but rarely challenged. And the psyche notices that. And that's where it forms a void. Not of the kind which is romantic, but the practical one. A space where meaning should develop, but it is never allowed to. Because meaning doesn't come from comfort, it comes from resistance and sacrifice. So people float. They float stimulated, informed, and distracted. And quietly frustrated that none of it feels satisfying. Nothing is wrong enough to fix, but nothing feels right either. This is exactly where the monster thrives. Not through force, but through justification and reasoning. Internal explanations start to stack up. I'm exhausted, I deserve a break, this is normal now, we'll do it tomorrow. Each one is reasonable in their mind, but together creates a paralyzing effect. Over time, discomfort gets avoided automatically. Not consciously, not dramatically. It just stops being chosen. And that's not peace. That's surrender that doesn't announce itself. Here's the part that's uncomfortable to admit. Human beings need to be needed. Earlier generations suffered materially, but they mattered. Modern suffering is different, comes from being unnecessary, and the psyche reads that as disposability of the being. That's why existential questions arrive earlier now. 18, 21, 25, the question, why am I here, used to come after survival. Now it shows up immediately because we are surrounded by comfort and there is no immediate need for survival. But without constraint, the question of why am I here has no answer, and it repeats. At this point, the monster doesn't dominate. It blends in, and that's the most dangerous part. Avoidance becomes self-care, numbness becomes balance, distraction becomes rest. Nothing collapses, and because nothing collapses, nothing seems urgent or to be immediately fixed. Jung warned that refusing to look at what's lowest within us doesn't lead upward. It leads downward, into apathy, into resentment, into meaninglessness, dressed up as maturity. The monster doesn't demand obedience. It just asks that nothing be examined too closely. And when anxiety feels constant, when fulfillment feels distant, when comfort itself feels heavy, it's not because life is too hard. It's because life has become too easy in the wrong places and empty where discipline and pressure once used to shape people. The monster hasn't grown stronger. It simply found a world that doesn't resist it. And the void it leaves behind doesn't scream. It waits.